world, welcome on in. My name is Sheila. I go by the Crow River Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram, and I have an Etsy shop. It's called She's So Sassy. I sell project bags. So it has been since April 10th since I've uploaded my last Flosstube. I have no idea how, well, I know how it went so quickly, but it went really quickly. And I meant to come on earlier, but so much has changed. I left you guys on a cliffhanger last time, and I thought it was only going to be like a couple weeks, and then the snowball turned into an avalanche, and I have not been able to breathe for the last April, May, June, 2.5 months. Yeah. So this is a floss tube about cross stitching. If you guys just happen to click on it, but people who have been here before, welcome back. And I will get into what I've been doing with cross stitch first, and then I'll get into a little life, what's going on in life. It's kind of echoing here. Things are really empty. As you can see, I used to have all that beautiful yarn behind me and crates, and it is gone. Lots of things are gone. So that will be in the update. You guys might be able to know or could decipher from that what's going on. But all good news, well, most all good news. You know, no news is good news, right? Okay, so cross stitching. I didn't get a whole lot done, and so from April to now, I've been a little bit of stitching, but I've been doing a lot more crocheting because by the end of the nights, I'm just like so toast. My body's toast, my mind's toast. And so crocheting is easier for me because you don't have to count as much. Well, there's still counting involved, but not. Yeah, it's easier because I don't have to be under my magnifier and a light. I can just use my cheaters and do it. And so it's easier to just grab and do wherever instead of having to go into my little stitchy spot and, you know, do that. So let's see. So April, I didn't even start my May Prairie Schooler, and I didn't even start a June Prairie Schooler. I've been doing all the Prairie Schooler months, and I thought I had started May, and I looked in my little area, and I didn't even start May. I worked a little bit on April, and I think I showed you guys April last time. I don't even remember where I left off. So, but I'm behind. I've been able to catch up on a couple things, but all right, let's just get into it. So I'm a little rusty, as you could tell. Like it's like riding a bike. You can do it, but it's a little wobbly when you first get back on. And I think it's pretty echoey, so I apologize. Hopefully next time, maybe I'll find a different spot in the house. But so the first one I'm showing is from Reflet de Soie, and it is Annie Cavour. Every time I say it, you guys, I just don't know. It's in my little project bag patchwork that I made from, I think this line is called like Old Garden or something. It's just beautiful. And it is on 40 count. I have the tag here. 40 count. I think it's Be Stitched Me, lightly salted, not roasted. And you know what? It is so amazing. Okay, I wear cheaters most of the time, like bifocals type thing. You know, I don't have a prescription bar, so it's just glass, and then, you know, cheater, like I think a 2.0 or whatever. And I don't wear them on the video because of the light, and it's like reflects funny. But just in those last like 3 months since I've last seen you, 2.5 months, it is so much more blurrier when I don't have my cheaters on. I'm like really struggling with small stuff. I'm like, wow. I thought once it hit like a certain amount, it just kind of stays, but I'm probably like a 2.5 now. Oh man. So it's lightly salted, not roasted, by Bestitch Me, 40 count. And there it is. I finished writing the letters. Oh, I forgot my board. I knew I'd forget something, but let's see. I finished writing out this big letter, and I started on this bird, and I worked a little bit in this big cartouche thingy in the middle. So, and a little bit more on this side. So kind of just writing through here. Spent, I think, just 2 days working on it. It's so pretty. I love this. It's stitch heavy. I think there's close to 40,000 stitches. So it'll be probably another year, because I think I'm only like maybe a third of the way done. So maybe another couple of years. So I love pulling this one out. It's so intricate up top with all the color changes. And it's time consuming, but so rewarding. I'll just show it. There's another birdie there. Birds there. I'm almost done with that bird. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. So she just gets pulled out whenever I'm in the mood, and I'm in the mood for her most often. Like, oh, I only had a few stitches. So the last couple days I knew, I'm like, I better get a video in, because they're gonna think I just like vanished off the face of the earth. But I'm still here. Okay, the next one is Teresa Kogut Sal in her Patreon. It's called Hometown, and I think we're a year and a half in about. I think I'm a month behind, but not too bad. This is one I've been trying to stay caught up on, because I want to kind of finish at the same time that everybody's finishing it. So this is on 40 count Up in the Attic by Fox and Rabbit. And yeah, I think I'm maybe a month behind, maybe heading on to 2 months. Yeah, you know, my brain's just, I'm not going to have a lot of stats and data for you guys. Just, I wanted to mostly come on here, show what I've been up to, and have like a personal life update. So that'll be a little longer later. So this one's great because there's so much fill in with all the homes, the houses, the buildings, and it's more mindless. I mean, there's a few like the willow and some of the trees you have to be a little more counting, but for the most part, it's a little more fill in. And I realize I love fill in, but only for a while. You know, I don't, you know, it's like big blocks. I get a little bored and I have to move on to something else. This is just in a scrappy bag I made with a bunch of strips I had. I just made it. Like, you know, sometimes when you just are in the mood to make a bag, but you don't want to work hard at it, you just grab what's available. I think actually what this was a leftover. I had a table runner. That's what it is. Yep. And it was too long, and so I had cut off some of the table runner, and this is just like the leftover from that. All right, the other one that I've been staying up on because I'm hosting the sale is the Let Freedom Ring by Lila Studio. And we started this January 4th to get a finish next July 4th. So we have 1 more year left on it. And I'm hosting a sale, and because 4th of July is next week, I have a Facebook page dedicated to this, and probably in the last week and a half, I've had about at least 20 new people sign up. that are starting this. So even if you haven't started it in January and you're starting it now because of 4th of July, you'll totally be able to catch up, because we started, well, you can start anywhere you want, but I started top left, and we're just kind of working in like typewriter, you know, rows across in like 24 by 80 sections once a week. So it's really doable. And up top, there's a lot more open space. I mean, once we get to this building, it's going to be a little more stitch heavy with the weekly stitches. But up into here, it's less than 500 per week. So, you know, if you spend, you know, a couple of weeks just working solid on this by yourself, you'll totally be able to get caught up to us once we hit this building. So right now, we're about right in through here. So let me show you. I'm doing mine on 40 count. Oh, here, I'll show you the bag since I have it. It's just like a wonky star bag. I had made a bunch of these blocks because I was going to do a 4th of July quilt once upon a time, and I decided not to, so I just had a bunch of these blocks laying around. So I've been making these once in a while. I have them in my Etsy shop. I have not been doing any sewing or updated any bags, and I probably won't for the near future. I have, a lot of my fabrics in storage right now, and so once things calm down, hopefully I can get back on my machine and start sewing, because I really miss so much of the things I've been doing, like normal life. But all right, so I'll show you. It's on 40 count vintage country mocha, and there we are. I have stitched a little ahead of schedule. Like, I think right now we're about like right in through here working on it. And I wanted to get down to those trees. Those trees are so much fun. And I want to stay ahead like a couple weeks, just because if we run into issues in the chart or something, or life gets chaotic, I have like a little room to breathe. So I'm a little ahead of the game, but not much. I was a lot ahead of the game for a while, and then, you know, now I'm just a little bit. But just the colors are gorgeous. And this time of year with 4th of July coming up, it's so much fun to work on. I am going out of town tomorrow for a week, and I'm bringing this one with me, and I'm gonna hopefully get, you know, ahead of schedule on here to just get some breathing room in case life gets even more chaotic for me, which I don't know how it will, but it could. As you can tell, I'm dying to tell you guys, but let's get through the school session. So 40 count seems to be my happy place. Yeah, because I always just use one strand. I don't have to do two. And I mean, on 36 count, you can get away with one strand as well, sometimes two. But yeah, that seems to be my go-to lately. But like everything, our moods change and our tastes change. So maybe in a year or two from now, maybe I won't like 40 count as much. So that's sometimes hard to buy a lot of stash for me. I buy stash, but I try not to buy too much because I am fickle, and I'm like, I don't like that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. And then I'm like, well, I have it. And then you feel guilty and you want to use it. Sometimes reselling stuff, you know, you always lose on that. But I do like having stash, because I also am like, I want to start something new, and like at 10 o'clock at night, and I just want to have it all there. So it's kind of a catch-22. Okay, this whole time since April to now, I think I've only had one new start, and it was for the first day of summer. My friend Leah and I started for the first day of summer. I'll put the chart in. It's also Leela Studio. It's the Summer Quaker. I have the PDF, so I didn't print that out. And this one I have been working nonstop on. I started, what is today? I think it's the last day of June, June 30th. I started this the first day of summer, which was that June 20th or 21st, 20th? Yeah, the 20th. So 10 days, and I've been working a lot. This is also on 40 count Velt by Picture This Plus. And there it is. It looks super modeled on screen, but it's not that dark modeled in person. I mean, it's modeled, but it's not, doesn't come off as dark in person. So I have never done one of her Quakers, and I am absolutely loving all the way the Quakers are set up. You know, they're horizontal, or they're more, I mean, I love the French, my French sampler, the Reflet, that's more like curvy and florally, but I also love the geometric shapes working as well. So, and the bottom is a lot of fill-in, which I really love as well. It's great. Like, do some fill-in and then come and do a little motif, and it keeps my brain occupied and happy, and I don't get bored, because there's just, you can bounce around so much without getting caught up in like counting issues. I think I only had one time where I was off one and frogged one little tiny time, and I caught it super quickly. Where sometimes you're in a chart and it's harder to count and you're making a lot more mistakes. For some reason, this Quaker is just mistake free for me. So I say now. Next time you hear it, be like, I made the biggest mistake and I had to rip out so much. But for some reason, this one's just been easy. And I've been using, because it's a PDF, I've been using it in Markup XP. And I find that helps me stay on track much easier, because I can like zoom in and really look at where I'm at and count. Where sometimes the paper charts, I make more mistake on the paper charts and I lose my place more often. So I think, I mean, I love having the paper charts, but I think more often I'll probably, if I have the PDF option, I will do that. One, because of space wise as well. Going into the future, I'm not gonna have as much space for stuff. All right, so there it is. And so basically that is all I've been working on for the last, well, let's see, April, May, June, 8, 10, has it been 10 weeks? Let's just call it 10 weeks. The last 10 weeks for cross stitch. But like I said, I've been doing a lot of crocheting, and so I will get into what I've been making for crochet. So the first thing, I started this blanket last fall, a bunch of fall colors. It's kind of a granny square stitch, and you just kind of start in the middle and work your way around and around. It's big. There, I'll just show you. So it's going to be a lap quilt for me, and I'm almost done. I think I just have maybe like 5-6 more rows to do to fit my lap and get my toes in. So I started in the fall, so I picked some fall colors, which I just love them. This is all the chunky thread from Lori Holt, which I absolutely love this thread. I love working with the cotton thread, and because sometimes the acrylic threads, they get a little, what's the word? They kind of hurt my fingers after a while of using them for a long time. More, not scratchy, because a lot of acrylic is really soft, but there's just something about the synthetic fibers constantly rubbing on my fingers as I'm pulling through, versus the cotton doesn't. But some cotton has no flexibility, and this one it has a little bit, just enough where it doesn't hurt. Like that cotton thread that you use for dish towels, is it like Cream and Sugar or something, that brand? That, if I'm doing too hard, there's like no pliability in it at all, so it starts, you know, hurting and fatiguing my wrist more quickly. This doesn't. I mean, I can stitch and stitch and stitch, and this doesn't fatigue. So I love her chunky thread. She's got so many colors. It's Lori Holt through Riley Blake. It's a little more expensive, but any good yarn quality, 100% cotton or wool yarns or anything, you're gonna spend, you know, nothing's cheap. Like, nothing's cheap anymore, except my advice. That's cheap for you. It's free, whether you want to hear it or not. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's gonna be cozy, and hopefully it goes with my new decor. But even if not, I'll make it work. But pull it out for fall. But yeah, so that's that. Just round and around we go. It totally reminds me of like 1970s, and I'm a 70s girl, born in 72, and these are the colors. Not so much the mint, but the rest are just like 1970s. All right, so that's, I've been working a lot on. And then of course my Amigurumi. Absolutely love working on my little critters. So the first one, I had bought this. It's a kit. It's from Circulo. It comes with the chart and the yarn, and it comes with everything you need. So if you ever find these little Circulo kits, they are great. Their directions are okay. I mean, if you know how to read amigurumi charts or crochet charts or anything, the patterns, you'll be able to figure it out after you've done a few. But it was a little harder to understand than some charts or patterns. I don't know what they're called now that I'm used to calling them charts. So, but it comes with everything: the hook, the thread, I think the stuffing. They never give enough stuffing for me because I like this stuff pretty good. But so I got that around Christmas time, I think. I started it. Yeah, it was before Christmas. Yes, because I was going out Christmas shopping, and I don't know if you're the Christmas shopper too, but you're like, one for them, two for me, one for them, two for me. So whenever I'm out Christmas shopping, my eyeballs are like, oh, I want that. And I end up buying my own Christmas stuff. So I had bought this before Christmas and started working on it, and then it just kind of sat, and I'm like, okay, I need to finish him up. He's got a little bent nose there. I think I was supposed to stuff the nose, but I didn't. But it's a little poodle. I own a little poodle, Foxy. I think I put her picture in. She just got a haircut, and so her haircut actually resembles this because, you know, short on the body, and then the little puffy legs, and there's a little puffy tail. The one ear got a little bit bigger than the other because I think I ended up grabbing the wrong hook. I think it was like a 2.5, and I think I grabbed a 2 1/4 for this one by accident. So I'm like, I'm not redoing the ear. So one ear is just a little bit bigger, just like in humans. We all have one that's something's a little bit bigger on one side. Usually our right side is bigger, I think. Like when you want to try on shoes, they always tell you to try your right one on. But because I'm a lefty, I feel like my left side is bigger than my right side, I think. But all right, have you guys missed my digressions and my little things? But here's the little poodle, so stinking cute. I named her Roxy because my dog is Foxy and this one's Roxy, so a little white poodle. When we were out poodle shopping, with my little miniature poodle, I kind of wanted a white one because I wanted to be able to like color her hair at different times of year, you know, to like, you know, red and blue for, you know, patriotics, but we ended up, she's a blue poodle. All right, so that is one little critter I worked on. Another critter, this is Madeline Dog. She is off the Hobby website, Hobby, H-O-O-B-I. It's a yarn, you can buy yarn from them, and it was a free pattern, so you can go under their free and find her. I started her this winter as well, and finally finished her up. She's a little French poodle, or not a poodle. I don't think she's a poodle. She's just a French dog of some sort. But she's got little booties, a little scarf, a little dress, a little skirt, and her little beret that I stitched on. So cute. The designer is one of my favorite designers, and it's Yan Schenkel. She does a lot of the Pika-Pow books, and she had done, I think, maybe like 5 freebies on the Hobby Yarn website, and this is one of them. The other one I think I showed quite a few times ago. It was, oh, a cat I did off that, and I did a frog. So I've done 3 of her free ones. And so this is Madeline Dog. Oh, there's her little tail. So cute. I love these little critters. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with them. Sometimes I give them away. She's gonna come with me. I like her. She's really small. I used, the other favorite yarn it's from, shoot, I don't have it with me. I think it's Circulo, yarn, Knit Masters, Circular or something like that. But it's another one favorite. And it's a lightweight, I think it's a 2, and I usually use like a 2.5 inch hook to make them small. You could use it in worsted weight. Like I'll show you, this is in a worsted weight with probably a 3.5 inch hook, and there's a 2.5 inch with the finer. And she would be this size if you use bigger yarn and a larger hook. And you could even go smaller, like, well, with this yarn, you could probably go down to like a 2.25, maybe 2.25. But you could also find, you know, a smaller yarn. Some people do micro, like using like thread, crochet thread, and making these. That would be fun someday to just do one animal in like crochet thread and see how tiny you can get them. So there's a size difference, just in the same, basically the same type of pattern, because yeah, she would be about this size. I mean, minus the ears, obviously, but. So that is Madeline Dog. And the next one is from this book, Sweet Crochet Animals, from Crochet. And it is some really adorable ones in here. This one is, I did Elliot the elephant. So there he is in the book. And I basically picked up just about the same colors. I wanted a blue elephant, and there he is. He's got little suspenders and his little pants. So the pants don't come off. They're part of the design, and then the suspenders just have, it's like a chain stitch. Then he's got a little bow tie. The bow tie does come off, and you can change out colors. You could pick any color bow tie. I think, did they have him in black pants? Yeah, black pants and black top hat, but I just did like a navy. And then his cheeks are just a little blush that, like powder blush that you can, you know, do. So I just gave him some little cheekers, his little tusk. He's got a little tail as well. They're so fun to create, these guys. And then I just found some buttons in my stash, and there he is. He's a little circus elephant with his little 3-ring circus. There he is. And I also used the 2.5mm hook. It tends to be my go-to size 2 fingering weight. Like the chunky thread is a 2. The Circulo, I believe, is a 2. So that's it. And then the next one I did, it's from the Pika-Pow 3. She's got 3 books out right now. Pika-Pow 1, 2, and 3. I definitely need the first and the second one because I've made quite a few things out of here. Oh, the bunny, there's the bunny that I just showed you I made out of here. And this time I picked the chicken. So I have the chicken done. Oh, his wings. There. You don't stuff the wings, they just kind of sit there. But there's my chicken with his big old chicken feet. And this one was all done in the Lori Holt chunky thread. So you could just do like blush there, but you can also make, Jan Schenkel uses a lot of the, you know, this for her critters. These are just safety eyes, little beak, little comb. Tail is every other 2 colors. You could use like a variegated thread as well, but I just did like changed out the colors every round. And then his big old feet. So yeah, I was in the mood for making a chicken. So there it is. I would say, you know, from start to finish, if I'm working on these quite a bit, it takes me probably 4 days to do one of these guys, depending on how many parts they have. Like, you know, you make the feet and then you sew them on, you make the wings, you sew them on, each tail. So like some things have a lot of parts that you sew on. Some don't have as many like sew-on parts that go quicker, but I used to hate sewing parts on, but ever since I started cross-stitching and doing a lot more hand sewing, I like the process of sewing on the body parts. They don't bug me anymore like they used to. So it's a more relaxing thing. And I think even as I get older, I might even take up like more hand piecing quilt block things too, and doing more of that. Because it's just, yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to run everything through the sewing machine. I didn't want to hand bind anything, sew it, and then I switched and I started like love hand binding things. And yeah, I don't know if it comes with age and just trying to bring things slower in life. So there's that. And so that wraps up kind of what I've been doing crafty wise to keep my mind halfway decent. So personal life, well, goals are just to keep up on my sales and maybe try to get some of my prairie schoolers months in, because yeah, I'm behind on May and June, and now tomorrow's July, so maybe I'll start July and then August, and then I'll be caught up because I think, yeah, I have September, October, November, December, January, all those months are done, so I can kind of go back and work on the summer months and the late spring, late winter months to finish for next year for my little calendar boxes. So personal life, I left you guys hanging last time. I said, I think we might have some big news. because my husband had got offered a job, but he hadn't taken it yet. And so I didn't want to like say anything about the job because his previous job didn't know that he might be leaving. And his previous job he was with for 30 years. So that's a huge, huge change. Like 30 years in one place and then all of a sudden mid-50s, you just jump to a different job. It takes a huge amount of, oh, I forgot, I made another amigurumi. She's up there. I'll have to get her. Oh, hold on, let me get her because she's really cute. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully I edited it out. All right, a little mouse. This is also from, I think it's from the Pika-Pow. Is it? Let me see if she's in here. Yes, she is. What page is she? I'll try to find her quickly for you guys. So many cute. You know, Yan Schenkel, she knocks it out of the park every time. And these patterns are super easy to understand. Where is she? Oh, I'll just show you her small. There's her in a small picture. She was a brown mouse and I made her gray. Little gray mouse. Is she cute? Her nose is kind of, but all right. So this is all chunky thread, I believe. The Lori Holt as well. She's got little bloomers, and then she's got her dress, and she's got her little cape over her. She's got her little tail that sticks out, a little cutout from her bloomers. And yeah, she's just cute. Her nose is a little wonky there. All right. So I also did her, I forgot. Like I said, been busy crocheting. Big old mouse ears. Adorable. Okay, so, all right. Back to my husband who decided to take a new position, and he asked, he's like, this would mean we would be traveling. And I said, okay. And so for many years, my dream was to own a farm, and we've been on this farm for 9 years. And the last probably like 3 years, my other dream was to RV, and kind of like when we retire RV and, you know, just, whoa, that was weird. I got a little brownout. That doesn't happen very often, but okay, back. So, what was I saying? Oh, traveling, RV traveling. So I've always wanted to, like, when we retire, to travel in an RV and see the United States. And so when he said he's got a traveling job, I'm like, oh, that would be fun. We could travel and get an RV and kind of just go from there. So I said, okay, go for it. And so he took the job, and right now we're still in Minnesota, obviously, in the house. We have to sell the house, and his first stop, he's working with all the Facebook Meta sites, the big, huge, like, AI server places. And he's working in one here in Minnesota, kind of learning the ropes, and then we're getting shipped off to Louisiana this fall. We don't even know the date. It could be September, it could be October, it could be November. But we're like, okay, we need to get the house on the market and get that sold, because not everybody wants a farm, you know, a 30-acre work. It's not a big working farm, it's more of a hobby farm, but there's a lot of work that's involved in it. So it's not everybody's cup of tea like a house in the suburbs is. You've got to find the right person to buy it. So we're like, let's get it on the market. So if it takes, a couple months to sell, because one, interest rates are still high. And so I've been busting my butt for the last 10 weeks, every day, downsizing, selling, decluttering, painting, projects, and organizing, and Facebook marketplacing our whole life, and cleaning out barns and pole barns and shops, and gardening, trying to keep up on the weeds. And so from morning to night, I have been like 8-9 hour days, crazy. And so basically everything has been, touched in this house, like paint wise and cleaning. And yeah, when you put a house on the market, it's a lot of work. And one, especially that we've been in 9 years, so it's not super long, but after 9 years, and we just thought this was going to be our forever home. We're going to retire here. And because if you would have told me this a year ago, I would have been like, no, we would never move. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to miss Minnesota winters, that's for sure. But how am I going to do in Louisiana summers? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So the first place, like I said, Louisiana is where we're headed. And I think it's going to be like a year project. It could be a 2-year project. So we're going to live in an RV, I believe. And yeah, so going from a 4-bedroom home to an RV, we've had to get rid of so much stuff, and so much more stuff will have to go. Like once our house sells, like all the furniture, everything we own, like I would say probably 90% of our possessions will be gone, which has been hard. Like there's been a lot of sentimental things. We're putting a few things in storage. Our daughter's coming with us for at least the first year on the road with us. So she's putting a lot of her stuff in storage. She's been kind of getting things, for an apartment down the road, and she wants a couple of our furniture pieces. So we did put some stuff in storage for her. But a lot of stuff I've been just donating or selling, and I've been quite harsh with what I've gotten rid of, which I hope I don't regret. There's a few sentimental things, but nothing totally. Like some picture albums, those will go in scrapbooking. I've been scanning a lot of pictures and then throwing away some pictures that once I scan them in, then I'm like, I don't need them anymore. So yeah, but you would be surprised, especially like all our craft stuff. All my yarn I had to get rid of. I'm saving, like the small, I got rid of all of my big chunky worsted weight yarn, and I, still the smaller yarn. But yeah, hundreds of dollars of yarn I sold. I got rid of a lot of fabric that I didn't love anymore. Like I still liked it. I'm like, but it's like, you have to pick like what you love versus what you just are like, oh, I like it. When you have the room, you can keep it. When you don't, it's like, okay, that has to go. If you don't love it and need it, it's got to go. So yeah, been hard. Like we aren't going to be able to take 2 of our cats. We're not going to be able to take our big Pyrenees, our big dog. He's been an outdoor dog, never been potty trained, never been in the house. There's no way we could bring him in a little tiny RV. He's a 100-pound dog that's never been potty trained, and I mean, he would die in the heat in Louisiana as well. So we have to find a home for him. So there's been a lot of super hard decisions, lots of tears, but also excited about what the future holds. Like, you guys have been with me, I had cancer last year, and you never know like what that entails. Like, am I going to live another 10, 20 years? Or, do I only have like, is it going to come back and have, a few years, 5 years? So it's like, things in life you just don't want to put off and, you know, be, oh, we'll do it down the road. Well, what if you don't have down the road? Like, seize it now. Like, my husband, his was in, still like the same industry, but he was more like doing the labor part of it, where now he's going to be doing more of the managing part of it. And his body was starting to break down, you know, like at 55, you know, climbing ladders and moving ladders and pulling wire and cables. And, you know, he could do it, but he's like, oh, you know, my body's starting to hurt. And so he'd been talking about it for the last couple of years, like, oh, I don't know how much longer I want to do this. And then this job came to him, and we're like, I don't think we can pass it up. So yeah, lots of changes and lots of unknowns. Like, we don't know the exact date we're going to be going down to Louisiana. We don't know how long we're going to be there. We don't know the next site after that. It's just kind of like a leap of faith. And, you know, how long is this house going to take to sell? And are we going to have to do a couple moves, like sell the house early and then move into some temporary housing before we go down to Louisiana? That might have to be an option. So lots of what ifs, but I'm just kind of like, it's in God's hands. I've just been praying about it, and whatever happens, happens. Like, I'm a cat. I'm always going to land on my feet as long as I have my husband with me. And, you know, my daughter's coming along for the ride. She just graduated high school, so she's going to finish her online degree, 2-year. She's got 1 year under her belt, so she's going to finish her associates on the road with us. And it'll be interesting, 3 of us in an RV. It's going to be a big one. It's like a 45-foot one that we've picked out. We haven't bought it, but we know which one we want. And, you know, so it's got a bedroom in the front, and it's a toy hauler in the back. So my husband and I'll sleep in the toy hauler part, and my sewing room will be back there as well. So I'll have plenty of room for my crafts, but just not as much. Like, I had 4 sewing machines. I had 3 sewing machines and a serger. I sold 2 of my machines, and I still have a serger left that I'm selling. And so I'm only bringing one machine, only own 1 machine now. That was really hard to give up a couple of my machines that I've had forever. But I'm like, to put them in storage, don't know if, you know, if they're going to get ruined in storage, and I don't have space for them. So a lot of things, like, I'd rather just move it out, have somebody else enjoy it, and down the road, if after maybe 5-6 years, and he gets to retire early, and we don't go on the road anymore, and find a new place by then, you know, I can pick up a new machine if I want another machine. Or maybe we love RV life and we just stay in there and keep 1 machine. So yeah, crazy. Anyone who's been in my shoes, who has gone from a big house down to like a tiny house or RVing, and any tips for how to navigate? I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good with getting rid of stuff. My husband, he was really like, oh, I'll put this in storage, I'll put that in storage. I'm like, no, I don't want, like, have hundreds of dollars worth of stuff in storage and paying the storage that we'll never use, and it's going to depreciate or become obsolete down the road. I don't want all that stuff hanging over. And getting rid of a lot of this stuff in my life has been like, like a weight, because stuff requires work. Even, you know, like a picture hanging on the wall, you have to dust it, you have to take care of it. And at this point in my life, I just don't want to have a bunch of stuff to take care of anymore as well. Yeah, I would say getting diagnosed with cancer, it really like flipped a switch on what is important and what priorities and values I desire and want going forward. And taking care of things and having a lot of maintenance and working hard physically, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, like, so But maybe after a few years, I'll be bored and want that again. So, but this little chapter in my life, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the change, and I'm excited to see what it has to hold. But yeah, pray for me that we don't kill each other in this small little RV and all the stress of moving and selling and showings. We had an open house. We just went on the market a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. I think it's been a week, maybe something like that. So we did an open house this last weekend on Saturday, and we had, I think, like 5 families come through, and there was one who was pretty interested. He was a hunter, and this is a great hunting property. We have a big deer stand in the back and really woodsy area. And this guy was a hunter, and he was really like, he told the realtor, he's like, oh, I'm really intrigued and like it. And I'll talk to my realtor. That was Saturday, and today is Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. And we just got a second, he's coming back Wednesday for a second showing. He wants to see it again with his family. I'm like, ooh, that's promising. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's going to make an offer, but at least there's somebody who's like, seems, fairly interested. So if it goes quickly, we will have to move twice, but that's okay. We just won't have a whole lot of stuff to move anyhow. Because I'm just rambling. If you guys are still around, thanks for listening. But right now, my husband's commute, he always drove about an hour, 50 minutes to an hour from where we were in the cities. But right now it's like an hour and a half drive in the morning and almost a 2-hour drive in the evening because of rush hour. And so that's 3.5 hours he's on the road right now, driving every day, Monday through Friday, and it's starting to wear on him. And so in a way, I hope this house sells quickly, and then we can just move to some temporary housing closer to where his job is right now, and have, a 10-minute commute for him, because it's really tiring on him. Plus he comes home and has these projects of working on the house and getting the house ready too. So, and a new job with a whole new mindset, and hey, he has to learn the ropes on that. So he's hanging by a thread right now. I know he is, and I'm just like so proud of him that he's like just doing it all, because I'd probably be in the corner rocking, crying right now, like, I can't do it all. But yeah, it's interesting because you realize how tough you are when you have to do something. And when the rubber hits the road, you're just like, go. But when you don't have to be tough, you're like, oh, I could never do that. I don't know how people could do that. And then you're thrown into that situation. You just like soldier up, and you're like, I can do that. And you do it, and you're like, wow, how did I do that? But it's kind of like giving, birth. Like, I didn't give birth. I had a C-section, but you just like in the middle of it, there's no turning back, and you're like, I got to do this. And then I hear from so many women like, it's so painful, but then, a year later, you're doing it again. So you forget about it when you're in it, about how hard things are, but you just do it. Your body just does it. So, okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm sorry I left you guys hanging for so long, but I had no time, no time. I mean, there's like days where I was just like, did I shower for the last few days? I don't even know. Did I brush my teeth? Crazy, just crazy. So now if the house is ready, it's done. Just have to keep it up and clean, and do a few little things, and keep, downsizing stuff. But the extreme hard work is done. And so hopefully I'll have a little more time to come on and get some more things done, unless all of a sudden we get an offer on Wednesday and we have to move. So, but closing usually takes about a month, but no, that's getting okay, yeah. Maybe you'll see me in a couple weeks. Maybe it'll be another month. I don't know. I'll try to get on But thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope your guys' summer is going well and your lives are treating you well. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.